So this last Friday on Craigslist, I had the opportunity to buy the remaining contents of a saw shop, saw sharpening shop. I bought it in Byers, Colorado, which is about an hour east of the Denver metro area, from a retired gentleman who was selling off his father's estate, who ran the shop. And he primarily ran the shop in Littleton, Colorado, which is in the Denver metro area, during the 40s, 50s, and 60s. During that time, at one point, all of this equipment was moved to Grand Junction over the mountains, and then later when he wanted to retire and just kind of putz around with the equipment, he moved far out east, about an hour east, into Byers, Colorado, which is where I got the stuff. Some of the stuff is Holy Grail type stuff. Others, pretty undocumented. One of the tools specifically, I can't find any sort of video regarding it. We found a manual and a patent on it, and the manual's not even the right model, but I think it's close enough to kind of get us in the right direction with this. But to my knowledge, there isn't any other video on the internet regarding it. And yeah, some of the other tools are incredibly common, like these guys here, which honestly doesn't need to have another video made regarding their use. But I'm going to use this avenue because it's probably the easiest avenue for me to kind of document this stuff, for you guys to see this stuff, as well as, honestly, I don't know how a lot of this stuff works, or there were a ton of accessories. So I'm not sure what goes with what. Maybe I can use the internet's brain trust to kind of help me figure out what goes with what. And then ultimately, my main goal is to get this stuff in the hands of individuals that will actually use it for its intended purpose. I don't make hand saws. I don't sharpen saws on any level of production, which is what a lot of this stuff is for. And my full shop of tools is now totally crammed, packed full of things. So yeah, I intend on selling most of these tools off, maybe after I learn a little bit of how to work on my own saws and tune them up some, because a lot of them do need attention. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of this stuff is going to be going to individuals that can actually use it, and we'll go from there. But for now, let's do a quick little tour of what came with the purchase, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to use this avenue, probably make some subsequent videos that will show each tool a little bit more in depth. And we can kind of go from there. Probably the easiest way to follow along with this, because who knows how often I'll actually get to make these videos, either subscribe to my channel. This is the first YouTube video that I've ever made. I've got this little tripod thing that's holding my Galaxy something or other phone, and that's how this is all being made. So it's definitely not production style videos. But I'm going to try to edit these, make them short, sweet, and go from there. So yeah, if you want to see each one of these tools a little bit more in depth, either subscribe, or probably the easier way to do it is I'll probably be posting a lot of this stuff on Instagram as it gets cleaned up. Todd, TODD, JB1 is my Instagram handle. So if you follow me there, that's probably where the most of the updates will be coming along. But yeah, anyways, let's take a little tour, and we'll see everything that we got. This is the Acme handsaw filer. So these vices alone are pretty highly sought after, but this unit actually comes with the filing base as well. So it actually holds and controls your file as you sharpen your hand saws, so you have a ton of control and get very repeatable angles. So this thing is just super cool. So you've got, you know, some really nice castings on this side panel. You've got this cool on and off switch which controls, you know, the actual motor to make the file go back and forth, and then, you know, this arm here raises and lowers the file itself down onto the blade when you're ready. And then over here on this hand wheel is actually, you know, how you move your file back and forth, and it runs using this chain mechanism right back here along the track. And this guy has a gear reduction little box, so, you know, the motor spins way too fast to be able to control the file itself. So this gear reduction makes it move nice and slow. It has the original lamp with it, and this is actually the only thing that I've found that's broken, and it looks like it's been they tried to repair it a few different times to make work. The light itself actually still works, but yeah, I'll do a cleanup on this guy. It doesn't need much. I mean, I think this all the original paint. I mean, it has some pretty minimal little rust spots on it, which I think will clean up just fine. But yeah, this guy will go to somebody who is really passionate about handsaw filing, and they actually advertise this as the elite way to file handsaw. So if you view yourself as elite, stay tuned for some later videos on this guy. Yeah, it is up for grabs to somebody who wants her. This was the impetus for me even going out and checking out this whole lot of tools. I've got a friend up in Washington, Bearcat Woodworking, Brian Noel, who was really interested in this. I've got another friend in Michigan who makes wonderful handsaws as well, Eric Florup, who actually owns one of these and made a quick little video on how it works. But it is a rapid, let's see here, if I can, yeah, so the Bamako Rapid Saw Set. So this is, you know, for how you actually alternate your teeth on a handsaw, that allows, you know, for the actual kerf of it. It was produced by Beaver Manufacturing Company, which is what probably the Bamako stands for. But yeah, this thing's cool, and you should. Eric made a quick video on this, showing it in action. It's wicked. It's cool, and it's got this little foot pedal for the action here. And this is I think this was probably an add-on. This is actually for to do, you know, circular saws, to do the set on circular saws. But this guy's cool. It is not available. Brian has already secured the purchase of this guy, and I'll add links to these guys' stuff as well down in the comments area or whatever. So you should definitely check out their saws, as well as Eric's little video demonstrating this. As far as cool machines go, this one is hands down the coolest machine that I picked up in the lot. And this is the one that I was mentioning earlier when I was saying that we couldn't find hardly any information regarding a machine. This is a Standall, specifically a Standall Model 7 made by Smith-Nielsen Equipment in Spokane, Washington. This thing is rad. So this guy will cut and sharpen the teeth of your saw. So a few things here. So it primarily uses this this grinding wheel, which I have some extra wheels for. And then you can see here that it has a ratchet bar right down here behind it, and then a indexing rod behind that. Now, per some documentation that we were able to find on it, it can either do you can index off of the ratcheting bar here, or there's another unit which comes out and it can actually index off of the saw blade itself as it does it. So it has a similar style vise to something like the Acme, where you've got a lever that, lifts up and down to release and to go back into place. But this thing is a much, much more automated machine. So if we come back here, you can see this is where you would control the fleam of your saw. So again, the angles that each of the back of your teeth are angled at. And then here you can lift the machine up and index it up or down to control the actual bevel of the back of the tooth. Here is a set of numbers which I am not sure what that indexing does, nor am I sure what that index there is trying to indicate. This guy here appears to be one that you set for tooth count. I'm not sure how all of that works. This guy here raises and lowers the whole mechanism for the different depths of cut that you need for larger teeth or smaller teeth on your saw. But this thing is a cool little whirly gig. Let me show you how it works when it's actually powered up. We can just flip on the switch. And then when you're ready, so this table here, it's kind of just being a catch-all right now for the longer items. This thing, I don't know what this thing is. You guys know what this thing is? What's that thing do? I don't know what it does. This thing, I don't know what this thing does. What's this thing do? Some other things on here. So an Acme grind right planer knife attachment. So it's made by the same manufacturer as the Acme handsaw filer, so maybe it attaches to that somehow. I'm not sure. It's a different color, so they may have just changed colors at some point. This one here, similar color, Acme knife grinder. So a similar setup and purpose, I'm guessing. Lots of these things. So I believe that these attach to ratchet bars that identify and index your teeth as you're doing different operations. But again, not really sure. This, don't know what this is. Do you know what that is? And here we have lots and lots of ratchet bars. So this style here, which I only have one of, seems to be the sought after style. I'm guessing it goes with the Foley bell saw style machines. And yeah, like I said, there's only one of these guys. Now, I do have 3 other styles here. This style here, this style goes with the standoff. And I only know that because there is currently one on it that is exactly like that. And you can see, you've got 12 on one side, 11 on the other. There is a complete set of these that go from, I don't know, like 5 to 14 with a couple halves in the middle there. And then there are these 2 other styles which I'm not familiar with or sure what they go to. This is a heavier, thicker style, and it as well has it has like the 9.5 on one side, and then 8 and 4.5 on the other. So yeah, I'm not sure what machine these go with, and I'm also not sure which ones these guys go with. So these are just they're about the same thickness as the ones for the standoff over there. There are no holes in them, but similarly they have the different 5, 9, 13, 7, 11, 6, that sort of thing, and there's quite a few of those in there as well, and they drop on the floor nicely. So here is a lot of the additional random stuff that came with the purchase. A lot of these things I do not know what they go with or what they do. This is a little baby, very common Solvay's baby comparatively to that big bad Johnny right over there. Came with a bunch of came with a dustpan, a nice Rubbermaid dustpan, and a bunch of abrasives for I believe that this is so that after you sharpen your saws, you run the stone on either side just to clean off any burr. But tons and tons of wheels here. I think a lot of this stuff actually goes with the standoff for cutting purposes. Some just general wire wheels and stuff got thrown in here as well. Random gear, which I have no idea what that goes to. And then a whole bunch of just sanding pads. So yeah, that box will have to be gone through to identify what goes with what machine, what was just kind of thrown in the box, and we'll go from there. I think this is hilarious. This is where he kept the money, and apparently he had some sticky-fingered children that he had to clarify that this was for shop money, not just any money that anybody wanted. But it got a whole bunch of other little items here based upon the color. I would guess that this stuff is going to go with the Foley, but yeah, there's some other things in here which again are totally unidentified at this point. Another pretty common tool is going to be the Foley power setter here. So this is going to work exactly like similarly to the rapid setter, but again, just much more common. Looks like a mouse found a loving home in this setter some time ago. But yeah, ow, fingers. That is the Foley. Buckets of stuff. And some buckets of stuff. Again, these are attachments to things. I don't know exactly what all of this is for yet, but at some point I'm going to dig it all out and we'll see if we can identify some of it. So these are the more common tools. Again, broken light. But you've got the fully automatic filer and jointer. So yeah, these are the ones that most folks who are going to be doing this on a production level probably have in their shop. Here you've got the bell saw sharpener, so comparable to, you know, the big Acme over there, just not nearly as scarce. And some people swear by these things. Again, I don't have any experience with any of this, so I swear by nothing at this point. This guy is the world's most gnarly toenail clipper. Pretty awesome. Actually, I believe that this is for doing sets on large circular saw blades. You know, looks like you can take this all the way back here, which might handle, I don't know, up to like a 36-inch saw blade. So again, alternating your teeth on it, but again, not sure how practical this guy is in today's world. This guy here, I believe, is for circular saw blades. I assume that there is an attachment probably over there in the bucket of stuff that goes right here that will hold your circular saw, and then you index it around and you can move this arm down into the blade itself for sharpening, I think. And then don't know what that wheel is for, so I'll probably have to do a little bit of research on that, but it appears to be a bell saw. It's a 1025. Yeah. This one is a funky little piece of history. So what you're looking at is a real lawnmower stand. They just call it a lawnmower sharpening stand because, well, they didn't need to identify real mowers versus regular mowers. But you can see here, this arch over top has a little crank gantry style hook to pull the mower up, and then we have these centers to, I believe that those went in the actual axles of the wheels, and then I would guess that this held on to the spindle for the blades themselves. And you're missing your it's missing its grinder base, you know, so as they turned those wavy blades, you know, the grinder would be able to move back and forth to be able to sharpen it at an angle. This thing is just ridiculously built. You know, these bars are solid steel bars, all the way across the hose, as is this one. So yeah, this thing's a beast. I'm not sure if this will bring much value to anybody. I presume anybody that is still doing real lawnmower sharpenings probably has the stand, and I don't have the actual grinder unit to go with it. So not sure what's going to be the deal with this guy. It might get repurposed into something. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, if you're, like I said, if you're interested in seeing how, you know, the Acme handsaw filer works, or the Standall whirligig machine works a little bit more in depth, or even the Bay-Maco Beaver rapid saw setter works, all of that stuff. Like I said, Todd JB1, and I'll put that down in the comments, link to that, so if you guys want to follow along with that. Again, that's probably going to be the main place that a lot of this stuff is going to be going, because it's honestly super easy to do from my phone. And then with some of the stuff, I'll probably do some more in-depth videos on YouTube as well. So I guess you can subscribe to that. I might actually get better at this at some point. And yeah, have a great day.